feel like Gordon Bombay would have taken his career to even further heights.
Everything's flashy, everything's cocaine, everything's
fun.
Open wide for some soccer!
I don't care what your personal thoughts are at home. I care that you hate the Cowboys.
Call this college rule!
Welcome, everybody, to the Sports Experience Podcast. I'm Chris. This is Dom. Couple of comics who love talking sports. We're in the middle of a block. We're talking epic playoff games, and we got this one today. It's a epic dynasty surviving.
This is where the old guy doesn't want you to take it from him.
Yep.
Essentially. This is like Pistons Bulls, Pistons Celtics, anything in the 80s in the NBA.
That has to do with the Pistons.
Yeah. They pissed everybody off, kind of like both of these teams.
It's true. It's very true.
Now. So we got the 2018 AFC Championship between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots, where it's old versus new and one form of evil before another form of evil. At least to an AFC fan.
I heard the hardest decisions that the refs ever had to make during this game. They're like, who are we going to try and get to win?
Better swallow the whistles, boys.
Yep.
So we'll start with the Chiefs, though. They're ascending.
Yes.
They've been ascending since Andy Reid took over as head coach in 2013. And now that Satan Manning has left, the AFC West is all theirs.
Yeah.
They win the West that year with 12-4 record, number one seed in the AFC, and they have a new quarterback in 2018.
Patty Mahomes.
Patty Mahomes is the quarterback. He was drafted in 2017, specifically because in 2016 they got to host a playoff game at Arrowhead and lost to the Steelers, who did not score a touchdown. Because Alex Smith plays quarterback like someone that chooses to urinate sitting down.
That's correct.
So they sit Mahomes in 2017, but by 2018, he's ready to go.
Yep.
And I don't think there's ever been a better rookie season by a quarterback from a statistical perspective than this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people talk about Jaden Daniels, but how quickly we forget that in Patrick Mahomes' first season, I guess it's not a rookie, it's his first season starting is a better way to put it. He wins the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Over 5,000 yards passing and 50 touchdowns.
That's ridiculous.
No one had an answer for him that year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, we haven't seen this ever. Strong running game. Kareem Hunt had over 800 yards and 7 tutties. This is before he started kicking women in elevators.
That's very true.
Great O-line. Eric Fisher, left tackle, made the Pro Bowl. He was a 2013 first overall pick. Tight end's pretty good for him. Travis Kelce.
Who? Oh, Mr. Smith? Mr. Swift?
Before he started going after diseased, beaten by everyone in the entertainment industry meat curtains, Travis Kelce.
There you go.
All pro that year. I mean, the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Over 1,300 yards. 103 catches for a tight end. I mean, now you kind of start seeing him being... There's another 87 in the AFC here, Gronk. And then Tyreek Hill, when he's not busy, beating women and children... all-pro year with almost 1,500 receiving yards and 12 tutties. You had two on the ground. Like, their offense this year was this might have been the best offense this dynasty has had.
Yeah.
I think in that first year where they make kind of a deep postseason run.
And they can pay everybody because everybody's not on big contracts, so they don't have to let Tyreek go.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Their defense isn't as great, though.
No.
Chris Jones will be in the Hall of Fame one day. He had a great year with 15 and a half sacks. I don't know if you know the story about why they drafted Chris Jones.
No.
They were trying to trade up for Paxton Lynch the year before they drafted Mahomes. They lacked the draft capital, and Denver snuck in and took him, and they traded back into the second round and took Chris Jones.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
If they take Paxton Lynch,
yeah.
This is a completely different universe we're discussing right now.
Yeah, seriously.
D. Ford had 13 sacks. They led the NFL in sacks. Well, they gave up lots of points and yards, some of which is just due, like the Chargers teams, to their offense scoring like lightning. Reggie Ragland had 86 tackles. Their secondary, Kendall Fuller and Steven Nelson were a pretty underrated cornerback duo for them. They went to the first round of the playoffs. They got Indy at home. It was 24-7 at halftime. They won 31-13. It was kind of a laugher game. That was the last time Andrew Luck could play, actually. On the other side, though,
We got the Pats.
We got the Patriots who, as they're aging, still don't want to give up their title as the best team in the NFL.
I was going to say, because this is an aging core group of guys with Brady, Edelman, the Gronkster.
But they don't want to let it go.
No.
They just can't let it go. Their head coach is an uncircumcised penis.
All right. Well, hey.
They brought back Super AIDS. Josh McDaniel as their offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
The only place he seems to do well is New England, whether it's deflating footballs or taping opposing defensive signals. But they're still the Patriots. I mean, Brady makes the Pro Bowl that year. Cordero Patterson had a pretty good year as not only the kick returner, but like a nice running back receiver option. Sony Michel's a rookie. He had over 900 yards of rushing. I always wondered if his parents were like, could we name him Samsung? No, Magnify. No, it's Sony. Sony's good.
All the way.
And James White, hero of 28-3 with all those catches, is kind of their pass catching back, along with Rex Burkhead. Josh Gordon's on this team because he's pissing clean, which was nice to see. Philip Dorsett they had got for Brissett from the Colts, as well as Chris Hogan. And their D with Matt Patricia in Detroit gets better, which makes complete and total sense, actually. Trey Flowers anchored the D-line with 7.5 sacks. Their linebackers are really good with Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, and then Landon Roberts. Stephon Gilmore, this is the year before he won Defensive Player of the Year, had an awesome season. He'll probably be in the Hall of Fame one year as a corner. And then they got the McCourty brothers, too. Jason and Devin back there for him. And this is, like we had said at the beginning, this is old versus new. And the old guys are like, maybe want to wait your turn for a little bit longer. And it was an incredible game.
Yes.
It was an incredible game. Kansas City starts slow, but it's an incredible game. You should go and watch this one. It's pretty awesome.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes we have these games that are really great, like pretty much for the whole game. Sometimes it really comes down to one play, and you're like, that was ridiculous. This one, really, especially fourth quarter, the whole game is really good.
Yeah. So New England gets the ball first. Here we are, January 20th, 2019 at Arrowhead. It's 19 degrees when the game starts.
Yep.
It's a little bit cold. Not that the Patriots aren't used to it. One of the best ways that you can stop a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes is with your offense and not letting him go on the field.
Yep.
And the to McDaniel's credit, this opening drive, and there are drives in this game with the play calling where you're like, that was perfect. Mm-hmm. So they come out, get the ball first, 15-play, 80-yard drive, which took 8:05 off the clock. Steady diet of Michelle on the ground, steady diet with White kind of in the passing game. Burkhead was getting carries on Gronk had 2 big catches. It was crazy to watch because you thought, here we go again.
Yes, because it was a complete control of the clock to start the game. And like you were saying, especially for not rookie, but like his second year, but his first really playing, he's going to get cold on that bench. And it's going to be a weird feeling coming in that much time off the clock.
It's like an eighth of the game is already over. I haven't touched the ball, and we're down 7-0.
Exactly.
Michelle closes it out with a 1-yard touchdown run. Kansas City only gets 1 first down on the following drive from a defensive holding penalty, and Van Noy has a 14-yard sack, which forces him to kick the ball back to New England. The Patriots have Edelman had a great game returning punts. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, definitely.
Not that he was breaking any ridiculous type of play, but it's like, we just added 10 yards. We just
20,
added 15 yards. This is a big drive in the game because they start at the Kansas City 44, and they're just mixing their backs again.
Yep.
They're just mixing them in with short pass. Like Brady was the best at the controlled passing game, where it was just vivisecting defenses. There was a big 15-yard pass to Patterson, and they get down to 3rd and goal at the 1, and you're thinking, oh, God, here comes the blowout. And Kansas City's defense rises to the occasion.
Yeah, actually stops them on this play.
So what happens, Chris?
And then this is when they kick the ball back to Kansas City, right?
No. Reggie Ragland
He intercepts it. Okay.
in the end zone for a touchback. Kansas City goes 3 and out. The first drive of the second quarter, New England starts at their own 26. And the game plan keeps going as planned.
If you look at the time that the Patriots had the ball in the first half to the Chiefs, you're like, God, that was so well orchestrated.
If you watch that game again, and I feel like in the film room, Kansas City's offense just had to be like vomiting.
Yes.
Like, what could we have done with this extra time? It gets to 4th and 1 at the Kansas City 42. They try and draw them off, but they're like, screw it. We got to punt after it doesn't work. Finally, in the middle of the second quarter with 7:32 to go, the offense starts heating up. A 42-yard completion to Hill gets him to the Patriots 23. And then on 3rd and 9, Mahomes is sacked by Flowers
for like 14 yards.
and it takes him out of field goal range, which just had to be ridiculous. But with 3:08 left in the second quarter, the Patriots get the ball back at their own 10. And what ends up happening, on their first 4 plays, they get 17 yards. And because of the amount of timeouts that they have, they start trying to go for the jugular. A 3rd and 4 pass to White got him 5, and Kansas City had called timeout on the previous play, thinking if we stop him here, we'll have which in retrospect was pretty effing stupid.
Yes.
When you go back and see it. Then a huge 30-yard gain to White on another pass play gets him more into scoring position. White has another 9-yard run to the Kansas City 29, and Brady says, let's end it right now. Finds Dorsett in the end zone, 14-0.
With 27 seconds left, Dorsett scores right at the end of the half, and you're really thinking like this young Chiefs team can't get it together to go up against these vets who know what they're doing. It really looked like we're controlling this game.
Yep.
You're going to do what we let you do, and we're going to do whatever we want.
We are going to paper cut you to death.
Yes, it really was.
By doing it, your all-world quarterback is freezing his ass off on a bench right now.
Yep. And he can't get hot, and our defense is good enough to stuff him, and then we're good enough, like you were saying, run the different options with the different running backs, and they couldn't stop them for punts.
No, And when Kansas City, anytime they'd get into field goal range, you're sacked right out of it.
That sack was, if you watch it, it's really bad on Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's one of those rookie quarterbacks where you're like, oh, dude, just take it where you were.
Yeah, no. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But whatever adjustments Kansas City made on offense at halftime obviously worked.
I will always I stand by halftime speeches because of games like these where you're like, it's like 2 different teams came out.
Andy Reid was like, look, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I need something. Just put some points on the board for the love of God.
Seriously, though. Mustache just quivering.
Mustache is probably frozen. It's got icicles coming down off it. Start at their own 34. Mahomes has a huge pass to Watkins, Sammy Watkins, for 54 yards. Gets some 1st and 10 at the New England 12. And then Mahomes to Kelsey, is like,
Mr.
Montana
Swift
to Rice. Mr. Swift.
Taking it in.
Whatever happened to Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah. He was an amazing tight end.
One of the best move tight ends in the league. What happened?
I feel like some guys just slip through the cracks. You know what I mean? So, like, we'll just never know.
Oh, man. I think it was 3 letters, PCP.
We're smoking angel dust, huh?
Oh, God.
But looking at this now, this is how these games go. Patriots looked like they were in complete control. You come out the second half, Chiefs immediately score, and now you're like, okay, we got a game. It's 14-7. We can run our offense like this is a game again.
And if you're New England, this is exactly what you didn't want on defense.
Exactly.
Not that they scored, but they did it like they had done in the regular season where it doesn't, like, if you're going to beat us, I want you going 15 plays, 80 yards.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They went 2 plays pretty much, and then it's interesting because what you were saying, they didn't matter that New England necessarily didn't stop them, but they got so much more confidence with the way this ran out. They were like, dude, we barely even we were on the field for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like we played like shit in the first half, and our offense barely got to play. Now
we're in.
Now we're even Steven. New England gets one first down on the following drive, but after failing to convert from their own 39, they punt, and there's a penalty on the punt return, and the Chiefs have to start at their own 4.
Yep.
On 1st and 10 at the 16 after the first down, there's a huge false start on Cam Irving, and then Mahomes is sacked again by John Simon and Lawrence Guy, which kills the drive, and a shitty punt by Dustin Colquitt. They're starting at the Kansas City 37.
Yeah.
And bad punt, Edelman, great return on the play.
Yeah, I think Edelman gets like 20 on that return. He really had not huge, like you were saying, not huge plays, but definitely plays that like made a difference.
I mean, is the Eric Metcalf out there? No. But when you can change the trajectory of a game with field position like that, and be reliable, not fumble, not do anything stupid.
Yes.
Just hold on to the ball. I don't even care if you fair catch it. Just catch the ball.
Exactly.
Hogan gives an 11-yard catch.
Whoa. We're not talking about. You know what? It was the Patriots.
It was the Patriots. I mean, Tom Brady will suck out their essence like the Sanderson sisters in Hocus Pocus. I mean, let's be honest. How did he stay so young, Chris? I don't know.
How did he look better than when he came into the league?
All TB12 is I smell a child. He's now starting to look like Bette Midler now.
Yep.
The Hogan 11-yard catch gets him into field goal range. And then the Chiefs end up, the D finally stiffens against frickin' Tom Brady in this offense. They stop the paper cuts. They stop the bleeding. But they send out Gostkowski, Stephen Gostkowski, their kicker, drills a 47-yarder, and they're up by 10 points, 17-7, with just over 4 minutes left to go in the third.
Yeah.
Now the fun really starts in this game. Like, it was exciting and enjoyable to watch before the fourth quarter.
But here on is some of the best football you'll ever watch.
And I'm not even crapping on the defenses. The offenses in this game were just like, they just took it to another level in this last quarter.
Well, that's my thing too, is like the defenses, they're not bad defenses whatsoever. But if you watch this, it's both quarterbacks and some running plays where you're like, God, they are so in the zone. It's, yeah.
There's a chance in like 20 years we could be talking about these are the two greatest quarterbacks who have ever played in the NFL.
And I hate them both.
Yeah. Oh, you like them? Oh, God.
Oh,
no.
God.
So on the Chiefs' ensuing drive, Damian Williams is a huge 33-yard catch and run. They get down to the New England 14 when the fourth quarter starts, and there's a huge defensive pass interference on J.C. Jackson, which gets him to the 1, and Williams catches a 1-yard touchdown, 17-14. New England begins their next drive at their own 24. There's a 19-yard pass to Edelman, and then they start riding Michelle and drive all the way down to the Kansas City 26, where it's 4th and 1.
Oh, man.
White got 1 on 3rd and 2. On 4th and 1, they give it to Rex Burkhead, and he's stuffed.
Yep.
Absolutely stuffed. And with 9:38 to go, Kansas City's looking to take their first lead of the game.
Which is crazy, like thinking about the way this game went. But you were right. In the last quarter, this is when Kansas City's defense finally were able to stop them, like in the red zone, everywhere.
Probably New England was getting tired.
That too. They were on the field for so much time.
I'm tired, boss. Kansas City goes 3 and out, though, on their next drive. And at that point, you're thinking, well, here comes Brady once again to just crap on people's dreams. And he's picked off on 2nd and 8 at the 30 by Daniel Sorensen. He gets all the way down to the New England 23. And on 2nd and 10, Williams is a touchdown.
Just a TD to Williams. And now this is why it's so much fun, is now we start trading leads. So now Kansas City's up 21-17.
And there's 7:45 to go.
7:45.
And New England just
does what they do.
This is just what they did for 20 years.
I was just going to say, if you watch this drive is exactly what they did the whole game, and it's just what they do. They went 75 yards, and I think it was 12 plays.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. They were helped out on this drive by a big penalty.
That's
true. There was a very ticky-tack roughing the passer by Chris Jones.
I agree.
Which I'm sure Chiefs fans are like, you can hit a quarterback, and then now they're like, how dare you walk 5 feet away from him? So Hogan and Gronk have a couple of 2 big catches, and it's 3rd and 1 at the Kansas City 10. Burkhead is stopped again.
Yep.
It's 4th and 1 at Kansas City's 10, and part of me thought there might have been enough time to just kick that field goal and your defense stiffen up, but at that point, I'm sure New England was like, we're not stopping this offense. We have to go for this. And then they hand it to Michelle, and you're thinking, okay, it's going to be oh my God, he scored a touchdown.
Yes.
He scored a touchdown from 10 yards away, 3:32 left in the 4th quarter, and it's 24-21. Or 3:32. By 3:26, Mahomes starts going to work, and on 2nd and 10, we have one of the wackiest plays I've ever seen. Kelsey catches the ball, fumbles it.
Yep.
Gilmore punches it out. Hightower recovers, but J.C. Jackson has another defensive. It's a defensive holding, not DPI, but it has another penalty which negates the turnover. And they have new life. And on 2nd and 10 at their own 37, another 23-yard defensive pass. This was not a good day for poor JC.
It's if you watch these, I agree with the first one, holding and the pass interference. The holding, I just don't think should have been called.
No.
With what was happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The time of the game, because there's times in which defensive holding, like you're just like, we'll bring that back. That one, you're like, come on.
I want to see a flashback to Chiefs Twitter during this game, talking about referees and favoritism.
God, yes.
Oh God, just the juxtaposition compared to now.
So one tweet's just like, we should really start paying these guys.
And then another tweet's like, I have available funds to start paying these gentlemen.
Turns out I have an extra
$11 billion.
No, we know that the refs don't take that much from that NBA ref.
Oh, so yeah, Donahue.
I got an extra $40K.
Some more Sacramento Kings fans are like, God, I hate that Tim Donahue.
Oh, my God.
Watkins has a big 38-yard catch and run, though, after this penalty. Goes to the New England 2. And Williams scores another touchdown with 2:03 left in the 4th quarter to make it 28-24. But my God, he's really Satan, Chris. He really is. He really is Satan. Tom Brady just does Tom Brady things.
But it really shows, like we were saying, the best quarterback, really, it's his last, he's in his winter of his career.
Yeah.
And then you have this new quarterback who's just like, they are trading drives back and forth.
And like, it's even if you hate both of them, like both franchises, quarterbacks, they're at the top of their game. You just sit back and watch and go, that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
You can't deny the talent.
So New England gets great field position because Patterson, who's an unsung hero of this game, gets them all the way to the 35. He caught it in his own end zone and took
it out.
But I mean, I think he has the record for most kick return touchdowns in NFL history.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, like he's been doing this for over 10 years now. A big 20-yard pass to Hogan, then an 11-yard pass to Edelman, and they're set up with 3rd and 10 at the Kansas City 34. And Brady makes a bad mistake. Charvarius Ward picks him off. He fumbles, but they keep the ball, and you're thinking, that's game.
Yeah.
That's game. The game is over now. But the refs step in.
Yes, they do.
And in this game, they had to be so torn. D Ford lined up offsides. I always felt bad for this guy for what I mean. This is very laces out in Chiefs lore
because if you look at it, if he is offsides, it's by like 2 inches.
Yeah, it's not like it's a lot, but it's still enough to throw the flag.
And something that shouldn't be called in that time. Like there's a lot of nuance to this to these calls where you're like, well, you haven't been calling that all game, and it's like, well, we're calling it now for our boy Timmy.
Our boy Satan. Anyway, so it's 3rd and 5 after the penalty. Who do you go to in these types of situations?
Gronk.
I was going to say Aaron Hernandez, but Gronk's
All
good
right.
too.
Well, let's just say the tight end.
We'll go to the tight end. So Gronk doing greatest tight end ever type of Gronk things.
Yep.
25 yards with 54 seconds in the fourth quarter. They're at the Kansas City 4-yard line. Burkhead scores with 39 seconds left to make it 31-28, and you're thinking,
It's over.
game.
Yeah.
Not for Patty Mahomes, man.
No.
Jeez Louise.
And this is what I mean. It's one drive after another. So we come back with the Chiefs having the ball with like 39 seconds left, whatever it is.
It was like knife through butter this fourth quarter with these offenses. Spencer Ware had a 21-yard catch. It's their 1st and 10, 23 seconds at the New England 48. And then a huge 27-yarder to DeMarcus Robinson gets him into field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bring out Harrison Butker for those field goals. Harrison, my name's not Kurt Schilling, Butker. God. This guy.
This guy.
This guy. Oh, his social media. Oh, boy.
It's a follow that you do not want to miss.
I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay without that stuff in my life. Drills a 38-yarder with 11 seconds left, and the game is tied. And we have the new overtime rules now.
You have to score a touchdown.
If you get the ball first, you can only make it sudden death if you score a touchdown.
A field goal doesn't win unless it's not the first play.
Yes.
Or not the first drive.
Yeah, not the first drive. So New England wins the toss in overtime.
And you're thinking these offenses have not been able to be contained.
I really think it would have been had Kansas City won the toss, the game would have turned out the exact same way.
I thought, oh, really?
No. I mean, in their favor.
Yes, I agree.
With what happened.
Yes, these offenses can't be stopped. Whoever's winning this toss is winning this game. Patriots have a great drive, and this is where Edelman kind of like steps up.
Yeah, I mean, they're champions.
They're champions.
They've been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years.
Yep.
I mean, one of them. I mean, this is just what evil does. This is what evil. Why do you think I wrote that bit? Who wins? Not the good guys. Oh God!
What if it's Satan versus literally his son Damian Mahomes?
I feel like you just flip a coin in overtime and crush everyone's goddamn soul.
So the Patriots go 75 yards. Edelman has 2 third-down conversions to get this, and it's almost like a foregone conclusion at this point.
When they won the toss, I remember looking at my parents because we were watching the game, and I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
It was like the Super Bowl with the Falcons. When they won the toss in overtime, you knew exactly
what
was
over.
Going to happen.
Yep.
Those 2 catches by Edelman you mentioned, though, I did want to add, they were 3rd and 10s.
And 10s, yeah.
These were not like Kansas City's defense had ample opportunity to do, but Edelman cooked them for 20 on the first one and then 15 on the next one. Then on 3rd and 10 from the 30, Kansas City's 30, Gronk comes in and 15 yards.
Yep, Gronk does his Gronk thing.
1st and 10 at the 15, Burkhead had a 10-yard run, and then 1st and goal at the 5, he gets him down to the 3. And then 2nd and goal, runs it in.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes was sacrificed at the end of this game.
He was.
He's dead.
Nope. He's still very... Well, I don't know. Maybe he got unalived by that awesome front four of Philly.
Oh, my God. That was a ridiculous game.
I
just want to say the Patriots had 524 yards as opposed to the Chiefs' 290. And if you really look at...
That's only in a half of football for Kansas City, essentially.
Yes. I was just going to say, if you look at when they started to actually get yards, it really was not even a half. It was like the end of the third quarter that they started to like actually start getting...
Like that first drive of the third quarter was just like boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
But then it was like a rhythm where it was just like, you're not stopping us.
Yep.
So New England wins the game 38-31. And proceed to play in one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched. They beat the Rams to win their 6th ring in 19 years.
That game was 13-3, right?
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It really
The
is.
Rams didn't even sniff the goal line.
I was gonna say I remember watching that. It was kind of like the one last night or whatever Sunday that the Chiefs.
Well,
Eagles.
at least one team
But
played well.
I was just gonna say both teams just looked horrible. You're like, these guys made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, you know who was the coordinator of the Rams, though?
No, give it to me.
It was probably the two best defensive coordinators ever matching up. It was Belichick and it was Wade Phillips.
Oh, and Wade Phillips.
Was
Yeah,
for the Rams. So
nice.
postscript to all of this, I
Yep.
know we've kind of been mentioning it throughout the podcast. New England wins that Super Bowl, and then the following year they make the playoffs. But in a nice little weird spider web, Mike Vrabel, former Patriot, takes the Titans up there to play in the wild card round.
And ends up beating them.
Ends up beating them. After that 2019 game, Satan says, I need a cool island breeze in my life. And he heads down to Tampa and brings Gronk.
The actual quote is that he needs a cool island breeze to ice his fiery heart. Now, I don't know if this is exactly why he went down there, but his heart was on fire.
Get that man a baby. For any South Park fans out there.
Yep.
And then after he leaves, they have been absolute. Basically pre-Bledsoe Patriots.
I was just going to say, it's kind of wild the drop off that the Patriots have had, and it's kind of obvious the ascension that the Chiefs had because they were so good and so young, and you're like, yes, they are a really great team, but literally, like, Brady, it feels like Brady took the entire team to Tampa.
Oh,
even
yeah.
though it was a completely constructed team before he was there.
Yeah, you got Mike Evans already there.
I know.
Oh,
But
you
it
mean I get to throw to this guy and Gronk? My life's so hard.
It felt like that because the Patriots were just so bad. They're like, did he just take all the good players?
No, it's just.
It was just
Satan
yeah.
was literally leading this team with a few Pro Bowlers on it. I shouldn't say that. Gilmore and Gronk will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah,
for sure. But the Chiefs, though, go in the opposite direction.
That's
of the Patriots. The following year, they win the Super Bowl in 2019. They make it back in 2020 and lose to Tom Brady.
And those fiery-hearted Buccaneers.
You mean Hat McCullough? Tell him we'll get a free hat.
Free hat, free hat, free hat.
Cartman makes like 7 hats. That's it. And then they win that a couple of years. They have played in the AFC title game, I think, every year since then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because 2021 was that game that the Bengals got jobbed in.
Yep.
So yeah, they've
literally
been back every single year and won 2 Super Bowls and made this most recent one. So like they're not going away.
No,
they're the new Patriots.
Yes.
So when the next up and coming, we're probably going to do it. We're going to still be doing this when we're 80. We're going to be talking about that game where it's like, remember when Patrick Mahomes was at the end of his career?
Exactly.
Remember when Travis Kelce got all of the STDs from those beaten meat curtains and they were like, one last ride into the abyss.
One last time, guys. We're taking this in.
Oh God! But honestly, go watch this game.
Yeah.
Even though it's very annoying with Jim Nantz doing the play-by-play, it is a fucking awesome playoff game.
One of the best playoff games ever. Just it doesn't matter if you hate these teams. It's just great football.
Great football. We should just title that. Make that the episode title. Yeah. Great football.
Yeah, I know.
God.
Right. Thank you.